Ah, Doctor, I've been feeling so tired lately.
The fruit you eat every day might actually be making you more tired.
You wake up, and somehow, it still feels like you never slept. Your head feels heavy, as if someone pressed their hand against it all night. Your legs ache climbing the stairs, and a few steps leave you short of breath. The mirror shows a face you hardly recognize: dull skin, tired eyes, and that quiet question whispering in your mind. Why am I always this tired? You've done everything right. You cut down on greasy food. You eat fruit every day. You take your vitamins, go for walks, and still your energy fades faster than it used to. It's easy to blame age, to think, maybe this is just how 60 feels. But what if that's not true? What if the very things you believe are helping you are quietly working against you? I'm Dr. Richard Collins. For over 30 years, I've sat across from patients who looked healthy, did all the right things, and still couldn't understand why they felt so exhausted. Their blood pressure rose. Their blood sugar climbed. They followed every bit of advice they'd ever heard, yet their bodies were signaling distress. And in case after case, I found the same hidden cause. Not a disease, not a lack of discipline, but a daily habit that everyone believes is harmless. Fruit. Yes. Fruit, the very symbol of natural health. The apple on every teacher's desk. The banana in every lunchbox. The bowl of grapes after dinner. Nature's candy, they call it, but for the body past 60, some of these healthy fruits act more like slow-burning sugar bombs, quietly inflaming the heart and exhausting the liver until even a short walk feels like a climb. Today, I want to show you which fruits speed up aging inside your arteries and which ones can actually help reverse it. Because when you understand your body's new rhythm after 60, every bite becomes a choice, not between pleasure and restriction, but between energy and fatigue, between slowing down and living stronger than ever. When I talk with patients in their 60s or 70s, I often tell them this: our bodies after 60 are like classic engines, still beautiful, still capable of long, graceful journeys, but the filters have started to slow down. In your 40s, you could push your body hard. You could eat late, skip breakfast, grab a muffin, and somehow still feel fine. Your liver, your pancreas, your kidneys, they worked like a smooth, clean filter, burning through sugar and clearing waste before you even noticed. But once we cross 60, the system changes quietly. The filters that once ran fast begin to slow. Not because they're broken, but because they've carried you through decades of life. They've served faithfully. And now they need more understanding, not more stress. Think about how an old car responds to the wrong kind of fuel. When the fuel burns too hot or too rich, it leaves residue in the pipes, soot in the engine, strain on every part that keeps it alive. That's exactly what happens inside your body when too much sugar, even natural sugar, circulates longer than it should. When we eat sweet fruits or starch-heavy meals, our blood sugar rises. In a younger body, insulin moves quickly to balance it out. But after 60, that process slows by nearly half. The liver processes fructose less efficiently. The kidneys filter waste more sluggishly. The arteries lose a bit of their elasticity, like garden hoses that have weathered too many summers. And with that stiffness comes higher blood pressure, fatigue, and sometimes even dizziness that feels like it appeared out of nowhere. Here's the truth most people never hear in simple language after 60. Your body doesn't just digest food, it negotiates with it. Every bite becomes a conversation between your organs and your age. Eat too much sugar, even the kind from fruit, and your body struggles to keep the peace. Glucose lingers longer in your blood. It binds to the walls of your arteries, creating invisible inflammation. That inflammation turns flexible vessels into rigid ones. And before long, you feel it in the smallest ways: heavy legs, slower mornings, light-headed moments that pass but leave you uneasy. And yet, none of this means your best days are behind you. In fact, this is where real health begins, not in youth, but in understanding. Because once you know why fatigue happens, you can guide your body with precision instead of guesswork. It's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. No one ever taught us that healthy eating has an expiration date, that what nourishes a 30-year-old might quietly burden a 70-year-old. The advice we grew up with: fruit is always good. Sugar from nature can't hurt you, was meant for younger bodies running on faster engines. But your body now is wiser, more sensitive, more honest. It tells you immediately when something's off, when the breakfast banana leaves you dizzy, or when a glass of juice makes you crash an hour later. Those signals aren't failures. They're conversations your body is trying to start with you. When you listen, everything changes. You stop chasing energy and start protecting it. You stop fighting age and begin working with it. Because aging isn't a decline, it's a transition from reaction to awareness. And here's the beautiful part: awareness restores power. When you adjust how and what you eat, when you time your meals to your body's rhythm, the fog lifts, the morning heaviness softens, blood sugar stabilizes, pressure eases, and your heart works less to do the same job. That's the goal of this conversation: to give you back the driver's seat in your own body, to show you that fatigue, high blood sugar, and dizziness aren't random, they're signals. And when you learn to read them, you stop being a passenger in your own health. So, if you've ever wondered why you feel slower despite doing everything right, stay with me. Because next, I'll show you the everyday foods that quietly sabotage that classic engine, and how simple swaps can make it run smoother than it has in years. Now that we understand how the body changes with time, let's talk about something most people never question: fruit. We've all grown up hearing that fruit is the perfect food. Natural, pure, straight from the earth. And for most of our lives, that was true. But after 60, your body no longer filters sugar the way it once did. What used to nourish now can quietly burden your heart, liver, and blood vessels. Let's start with one of the biggest surprises: mango, the tropical sugar bomb. Years ago, I treated a retired teacher named Mrs. Edwards. She was full of life, the kind of person who laughed easily and believed in doing everything by the book. Every morning, she had brown rice, green tea, and a glass of fresh mango juice. "Doctor," she told me, "it's my beauty secret. My skin looks younger every summer, but one visit changed everything." Her liver enzymes had doubled. Her fasting blood sugar had crept far above normal. She looked at me, confused. "But I don't even eat sweets." The truth is, one ripe mango carries more than 20 grams of fructose, about the same as a handful of candy. In a younger body, that sugar burns off quickly. But after 60, the liver can't filter it fast enough. What doesn't get used turns to fat, wrapping around the liver like a silent coat. Within months, energy fades, blood sugar rises, and the body quietly begins to struggle. So if you love mangoes, enjoy them occasionally, a few slices after a meal. Never on an empty stomach. The goal isn't fear, it's awareness. Banana, the morning trap. I've lost count of how many patients told me, "Doctor, I eat light, just a banana for breakfast." It sounds simple and healthy, but for an aging metabolism, that single banana can feel like 2 bowls of rice. Let me tell you about Mr. Reynolds. a 63-year-old mechanic who came to me with fatigue and trembling hands before lunch. His breakfast, 2 ripe bananas every morning. His blood sugar would spike within minutes, then crash mid-morning, leaving him dizzy and drained. When we replaced his bananas with oatmeal and a handful of blueberries, the shakes disappeared within a week. Bananas aren't the enemy, but timing and ripeness matter. The riper they are, the faster the sugar hits your bloodstream. A soft, speckled banana may taste sweet, but it's already half sugar. For the body past 60, that's too much fuel all at once. Grapes, nature's candy. Almost everyone loves grapes, easy to grab, sweet to taste, and hard to stop eating. But here's what few realize grapes are like: tiny sugar capsules. 10 grapes contain as much sugar as a cookie. And for seniors, they come with another problem: oxalates. Compounds that can form kidney stones when the kidneys slow down. I once saw an older gentleman, Mr. Carter, who drank grape juice every morning for antioxidants. He ended up in the ER with sharp pain in his side, a kidney stone. When I asked about his diet, he said proudly, "I've replaced soda with grape juice." It wasn't soda, but his body couldn't tell the difference. The constant fructose and oxalate buildup had quietly overloaded his system. Fresh grapes in moderation are fine, but juices and raisins, that's concentrated sugar, 4 times the impact on your blood. Remember, nature made grapes for sweetness, not survival. Pineapple, the sweet misunderstanding. Pineapple is often called the digestion fruit, bright, tropical, refreshing. It feels like health in a bowl. But the truth is, for aging blood vessels, it's a roller coaster. Pineapple's sugar content is high, and when eaten after dinner or from a can, the added syrup sends blood sugar soaring. One of my patients, Mrs. Lopez, swore by pineapple for her after-meal cleanse. Her numbers told another story: post-meal sugar at 230. Well into the danger zone. The fruit she thought was healing her was actually stressing her heart. If you love pineapple, treat it as a rare dessert, not a routine. Fresh only, never canned, and never on an empty stomach. When I share this list, some patients look startled, even disappointed. "So what do we eat then, doctor?" they ask. I smile, because I know what comes next. The good news. It's not about fear. It's about wisdom. Knowing when food stops helping you is the truest form of self-care. After 60, you don't have to give up sweetness. You just have to choose it differently. Because when you do, your heart beats easier, your energy returns, and your mornings stop feeling like mountains to climb. Next, let's talk about the fruits that heal, nature's quiet medicine that helps the body recover from years of hidden strain. When I first share this information with patients, there's usually a moment of silence. They sit back in their chair, eyebrows raised, as if they're realizing that everything they thought was healthy might have been slowly wearing them down. And I always tell them the same thing: don't be afraid. Because removing what harms you is only half the story. The other half, the better half, is what comes next. Once we take away the troublemakers, nature gives us healing tools. I call them the 4 miracle fruits after 60. You might want to grab a pen or jot a few notes. These next few minutes can truly change the way your body feels, not years from now, but in the quiet mornings ahead, when you wake up and realize your energy finally feels steady again. Let's begin with something simple: hope. Hope isn't found in pills or promises. It begins when you understand your body and work with it, not against it. After 60, the goal isn't to chase youth, it's to rebuild vitality, cell by cell, through foods that speak the same language as your changing body. I've seen it happen countless times. Men and women in their late 60s, even 70s, who looked defeated by fatigue until they began to feed their cells. not just their hunger. Within weeks, their eyes brightened, their skin gained color, their blood pressure softened, and every single one of them began with the same 4 fruits I'm about to share. Before I tell you what they are, let's take a breath and remember something important. Nature doesn't make mistakes. It gives us both warning signs and remedies, often in the same place. The key is learning which is which. When we were young, our bodies could handle excess. We could eat sweets, skip meals, and still bounce back. But now, the measure of health isn't how much we can endure, it's how well we recover. That recovery begins with foods that reduce inflammation, protect the heart, and calm the bloodstream instead of exciting it. So I ask my patients this question. If the wrong fruit can inflame your arteries, what could the right ones do? That's when their eyes widen. Because they realize healing doesn't require something foreign or expensive. It just requires choosing differently. Imagine a diet where every bite gently lowers blood pressure, cleans cholesterol, steadies your sugar, and restores oxygen to your brain. That's what these next fruits do. They are nature's repair kit designed not for the young, but for the wise. Each one was chosen not because it's trendy or exotic, but because it works with the aging metabolism instead of against it. Each one is backed by decades of medical research. And even more importantly, by real patients who lived the difference. And here's the best part. These fruits don't just fix numbers on a lab report. They bring back something that medicine can't prescribe: peace. Peace in your heart rhythm. Peace in your digestion. Peace in the way your mornings begin without that heavy fog. Without the sudden crash after breakfast. You deserve that. After all the years you've spent working, caring for others, putting your health last, your body deserves nourishment that gives more than it takes. So as we move into this next chapter, remember this truth: your body still wants to heal. Age doesn't stop, that misunderstanding does. Once you remove what drains your energy, you create space for strength to return. Now, let's fill that space with what truly restores life. 4 fruits. 4 simple choices. Each one with the power to lower your risk of stroke, clear your arteries, and bring warmth back to your mornings. Let's begin this new part of the journey, not with fear, but with gratitude for the body that's still willing to fight for you. If the wrong fruits can quietly steal your energy, the right ones can return it one simple meal at a time. These aren't exotic cures or rare superfoods. They're everyday fruits you've likely passed by in the grocery aisle 1,000 times, unaware that they're nature's way of saying, you still have a second chance. Let's start with the one I call the vascular healer, the blueberry. Blueberries may be small, but inside that dark blue skin lies one of nature's most powerful medicines, anthocyanins. These pigments give the berry its rich color and its healing force. Harvard researchers followed thousands of older adults and found something remarkable. Those who ate blueberries regularly had a 30% lower risk of stroke. That's not a marketing slogan. That's science. The reason is simple. Anthocyanins reduce inflammation in the blood vessels and help restore flexibility to the arterial walls. In plain English, they keep your blood flowing smoothly. Instead of forcing your heart to pump against stiffness, they also contain far less sugar than tropical fruits, making them safe even for people managing diabetes or high blood pressure. So, here's my favorite prescription, one I never write on paper: half a cup of blueberries a day. Fresh or frozen. It doesn't matter. Add them to plain yogurt. Sprinkle them on oatmeal. Or eat them right from the bowl. That small habit can soften your vessels, lower your pressure, and brighten your mornings in ways medicine often can't. Now, let's move to the daily defender, the apple. You've heard the saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. I'd like to amend that. An apple a day keeps your arteries young. Apples contain 2 powerful compounds, quercetin and pectin. Quercetin acts like a shield against inflammation, protecting the delicate lining of your arteries. Pectin is a soluble fiber that works like a sponge, soaking up excess cholesterol and carrying it out of your body before it can harden in your blood vessels. But here's the secret most people miss. Almost all of that power lives in the skin. When you peel the apple or turn it into juice, you throw away the medicine and keep only the sugar. So, eat it, whole skin, and all, and try having it about 30 minutes before a meal. That small timing trick steadies your digestion and helps prevent the after-meal sugar spikes that so many older adults struggle with. It's such a simple fruit. But it's a quiet guardian, steady, reliable, humble, and remarkably effective. Next comes the heart cleaner, the tomato. Many people think of tomatoes as vegetables, but they're fruits, and among the best friends your cardiovascular system will ever have. Their secret weapon is lycopene, a bright red antioxidant that keeps plaque from forming in your arteries. Here's something most people don't realize. Lycopene becomes 3 times more absorbable when it's cooked with a bit of healthy fat, like olive oil or egg yolk. That's why I tell my patients this: a warm tomato breakfast can do more for your heart than most supplements on the shelf. A simple sauté of 2 ripe tomatoes, 1 egg, and a drizzle of olive oil. It's not just a meal, it's therapy in disguise. Within weeks, your blood pressure begins to ease, your energy steadies, and your circulation improves. That's what I mean when I say that food isn't just fuel. For the aging body, food is instruction. Every meal teaches your blood vessels what kind of day to have. Finally, let's talk about the good fat fruit, the avocado. For years, people avoided avocados because of their fat content. But that's one of the greatest misunderstandings in modern nutrition. The fats in avocado are monounsaturated, the same kind your heart craves. They lower LDL, the bad cholesterol, while raising HDL, the good one. In fact, the American Heart Association found that eating just half an avocado a day can reduce heart disease risk by up to 20%. That's a statistic worth remembering. But there's more. Avocados contain nearly twice as much potassium as bananas, which helps balance your blood pressure naturally without shocking your system. Potassium relaxes your blood vessel walls, allowing your heart to work less and live longer. When I see patients in their 70s who look decades younger, I often find that they've made peace with these foods. They've stopped chasing quick fixes and started listening to what their bodies actually need. They eat slow, they chew with intention, and they build meals around simple, honest ingredients: blueberries, apples, tomatoes, avocados. 4 fruits that sound ordinary, yet together, they form a quiet revolution inside your body. They clean the bloodstream, soften the arteries, feed the brain, and calm the heart. And maybe most importantly, they give back something that's easy to lose with age: trust in your own body. Because when you feed yourself well, you start believing again that your body can still heal. So the next time you open your fridge, don't think of these fruits as snacks. Think of them as partners, tiny pieces of nature's second chance, waiting for you to say yes. And when you do, your body will thank you in its own language: steadier mornings, easier breath, clearer thoughts, and a peace that medicine alone can't deliver. When patients ask me, "Dr. Collins, what does a healthy day actually look like?" I tell them, it's not about perfection, it's about rhythm. The rhythm between rest and motion, food and silence, effort and ease. Each morning, your body wakes up asking for one thing: gentleness. Before coffee, before screens, before rushing into the noise, drink a full glass of water. Let your body remember what calm feels like. Stretch your arms, roll your shoulders, breathe slowly, as if you're reminding your heart it doesn't have to race to keep you alive. Then, when you're ready to eat, Think light and steady. A bowl of oatmeal with a handful of blueberries. A few tomato slices with a poached egg. Half an avocado on whole grain toast. These aren't fancy recipes, they're quiet acts of repair. They tell your body, I'm listening now. And here's one habit I ask everyone over 60 to rethink: coffee on an empty stomach. When you drink it before eating, caffeine spikes your cortisol and blood pressure before your heart is ready. It's like stepping on the gas before the engine warms up. Instead, eat first. Then enjoy your coffee 30 minutes later. Your arteries will thank you for it. As the day goes on, keep the same mindset: steady, not strict. If you walk, walk softly. If you rest, rest completely. Your body doesn't need punishment. It needs partnership. And when stress finds you, because it always does, remember this: anger tightens your arteries faster than salt ever could. When you feel your chest tighten, don't fight it. Inhale deeply. Count to 5. Drink a sip of water. Let the wave pass. Those 30 seconds can protect your heart more than any pill you'll ever take. The truth is, health isn't what you stop eating. It's what you start understanding. Your body isn't your enemy. It's your oldest companion, asking for patience, forgiveness, and care. And when you start giving it that, through small, steady choices, you'll find that healing was never complicated. It was simply waiting for you to slow down enough to listen. If this talk made you pause even for a moment and rethink one small habit, then you've already started healing. Because change never begins with the body. It begins with awareness, with that quiet moment when you realize your health isn't slipping away. It's simply waiting for your attention again. The truth is, you don't need to do everything at once. You just need to begin: one meal, one walk, one slower breath at a time. The body rewards consistency more than perfection. And every kind choice you make for it, it returns to you as strength, clarity, and peace. So tonight, before you sleep, I want you to remember this: your heart has carried you through decades of love, stress, laughter, and storms. It deserves your gentleness now. When you wake tomorrow morning, drink your water slowly, breathe deeply, and whisper gratitude for another day. That simple act of awareness may do more for your blood pressure, your mind, and your spirit than you could ever measure. If you found something in this message that spoke to you, share it with someone you love. You might not just change their day, you might save their heart. And I'd like to invite you to walk this journey with me. Subscribe to this channel. And in the comments, write, I choose health. Because those 3 words are more than a comment, they're a promise to yourself that it's never too late to begin again. I'm Dr. Richard Collins, wishing you calm mornings, strong hearts, and many tomorrows filled with peace, light, and the quiet joy of knowing that your best years can still be ahead.